This is one of my favorite concepts in all of Math 20-1. This is called the ambiguous case of sine law. And I love the way I do this. Okay, this is the story of the dead meteorologist. And what happens here is this. Ambiguous means not enough information. Okay, so not enough information is given. The best way to describe this, the ambiguous case of sine law, case of the dead meteorologist. When does the ambiguous case happen? It happens right here, when you're given two sides at an angle opposite to one of the sides. What do I mean? Look, the story goes like this. The meteorologist one day gets a report that there's a tornado. So he runs out and he throws a weather balloon into the air, and that weather balloon's got a bunch of materials attached to it, gives him all kinds of information. And he finds out that there's a tornado 15 kilometers from the balloon. So it's out here, 15 kilometers. Okay. He's also told that the balloon is 25 kilometers from the meteorologist. So that's 25 kilometers. Oh, how sweet. He even knows that the balloon is at a 20-degree angle to that lovely meteorologist right here. So here he is sitting in his hut, right like that, right? And he's doing all of these beautiful calculations, and he's trying to figure out where this tornado is. And he thinks he's safe. Well, why? Well, because if you do the regular sine law here and go, okay, this guy goes with that. So you got the sine of 20 degrees goes with 15 equals to, well, the tornado over here must go with this guy over here. Okay, so I can find that out. That's no problem. We'll call it the sine of the tornado must go with 25. Okay, we can find out the angle of the tornado, right? And if I find the angle of that tornado, we can actually figure out the distance between the meteorologist and the tornado. Okay, so let's keep on going. Let's find this angle of this tornado. Here we go. So let's just take this whole lot right here, down here. Okay, I'm going to bring it all down with me. There and there. There it is. Okay, let's find out the sine of t and then t itself. Okay, so cross multiply is going to give me 25 times the sine of 20 over 15. Okay, let's figure out that number. That's going to give me the sine of t. All right, so bring up our calculator. We got 25 times sine 20 over 15. Okay, 25 times sine 20 divided by 15. That gives us a sine of 50.5700 something. To find the actual angle, yeah, inverse sine of the answer, we got an angle of 34.75 degrees. Cool. Okay, so what are we talking about? 34.75 is this angle right here. 34.75. Well, we can use this in conjunction with this to find this angle so we can find that side. Oh, what a nightmare to figure that out, right? Not really, because think about it. We still have to add 20 to this number, okay, to find this number. Remember, it's 180, subtract those two numbers, those two angles combined, which is 20 plus 34.75. Watch how easy this is on your calculator to do. Watch, 180, right? Subtract, bracket, the 20 degrees that we had earlier, plus this 34.75. So all I'm going to do is just mouse up to here, hit enter, and look at that. It transfers that whole number down here, gives me a value of this being 125.24. So the angle between the meteorologist and this tornado was what again? 125.24. Okay. That's 125.24, which means then now I can find this distance here. Why? Watch. I'm going to use the meteorologist with this again. So sine of 20 with 15. Okay. So there's sine of 20 again with 15. Look at this. I've used it once. I'm using it twice. And honestly, when you look at the next podcast after this, you're going to do it a third time. Okay. Now, this is the sine of the balloon, and the balloon was what? The balloon was 125.24. Okay, 125.24. Right out there. Whoops. There it is. Come on. There we go. It's being nasty to me again. Divided by that length of that meteorologist. This length that we were trying to figure out right here. This length. That's what we're trying to find out. Okay? So if we divide that out, we're going to call it meteorologist to tornado distance. Let's cross multiply. Real easy to do. 15 times this divided by sine 20. So we got 15 times the sine of that 125 angle divided by sine 20, which will give us the distance, the tornado, and what the meteorologist predicted his distance to be. Okay, so 15 times sine 25. Bring up the calculator. 15 times sine 25, 125. Well, it's already in your calculator. Okay, so sine, that's the number there. Hit enter. Perfect. Okay, enter gives you that value. Remember then, it was divided by what? It was divided by sine of 20. So let's divide this guy by the sine of 20. Divided by sine 20. Now, here's what happened. That means that this tornado was 35.8 kilometers away. 35.8 kilometers away. That's what this meteorologist to tornado. 35.8 kilometers away. So the tornado is quite the distance away from the meteorologist. The meteorologist sat in his hut. And he thought, oh, I'm fine. But remember what this was called? Ambiguous case of sine law. Stay tuned to the next podcast.